Inspector Rakesh Kadam, Sudhanshu Pandey, is an honest police officer who ends up committing suicide due to the false accusations of corruption leveled against him by Jaykant Shikre. Prakash Raj, a crime boss, businessman and politician in Goa running various rackets like kidnapping, extortion and smuggling. Kadam's wife Megha, Sonali Kulkarni, vows revenge against Jaykant in front of him, exclaiming that God will dispense justice to him for this act. Uddharan Chennai. The story moves to Shivgad, a small village near the Goa-Maharashtra border. Bajirao Singham, Ajay Devgan, an honest police officer like Kadam, is in charge of the Shivgad police station, a station house officer in charge of his town. He resolves most of the problems in his town informally and without filing charge sheets, thereby gaining much reputation and love from the villagers. Gautam, Gotia, Bhosle, Sachin Khedekar, is an industrialist and Bajirao's father Manikrao, Manya, Singham, S. Govind Namdev, childhood friend. He comes to Shivgad with his wife and daughters Kavya, Kajal Agarwal, and Anjali, Sana Amin Sheikh. Eventually, Singham and Kavya fall in love with each other. Their courtship takes place through a series of comic events where she initially hates him after he slaps her tight when she is caught frightening villagers disguised as a ghost, but then has a change of heart when she sees his honest and simple nature and finds that he wants to apologize for his behavior. Uddharan. Everything seems to run smoothly until Jaykant, who is given conditional bail for a murder he had committed, is required to travel to Shivgad to sign the bail through a fortnight. Acting on the recommendation of his top lieutenant Shiva Naik, Ashok Samarth, he instead sends one of his allies, Vithal Dalvi, and his men, to do the formalities, much to the fury of Singham, who demands Jaykant sign the bail in person within the next 4 hours. An enraged Jaykant reaches Shivgad to confront Singham, but the villagers, upon hearing of his comments against Singham, threaten to finish him off, damaging his convoy's vehicles in a dramatic show of public power. Singham asks his assistant, Ramesh Kelkar, to bring the register containing Jaykant's record, forces a thumb impression of Jaykant's left hand onto the register, and warns him to continue signing the bail for the remaining 14 days. As a humiliated Jaykant looks on, terrified by Singham's courage, and leaves the village on foot as a sign of protest, refusing to travel by wheels. On the highway, as he stops at a point, he recalls his humiliation, learns of Singham's background from Shiva through a source, and using his political contacts, gets Singham transferred to Goa to seek revenge. Singham, unaware of Jaykant's hand behind his transfer, joins the Kolwa police station in Goa as the in-charge, when on the very first day, he is confronted by Jaykant, who shows Singham his true colors and tries to intimidate him by mentioning how the officer preceding him ended up committing suicide, warning Singham that he is out to trouble him to no end. Eventually, in a discussion with his co-workers and juniors, Sub-Inspector Dev Fadnis, Vineet Sharma, Sub-Inspector Abbas Malik, Ankur Nayar, and Head Constable Prabhu Savalkar, Ashok Saraf, he learns how much the 3 officers hate Jaykant for his crimes but are unable to take any action because of Jaykant's political powers. DSP Satyam Patkar, Murli Sharma, Singham's senior, is on Jaykant's payroll and takes care of concealing and eliminating the evidence of Jaykant's crime from the eyes of the law. Singham, upon learning of Kadam's tragedy from the colleagues and Megha, and taking cues from what he has already seen, tries to take this to the notice of DGP Vikram Pawar, Pradeep Velanka, but it turns out to be of no use as there is no evidence against Jaykant and Patkar. Local Minister Anant Narvekar, Anant Jog, soon adds to Singham's troubles when he refuses to support him against Jaykant, later launching the latter as a candidate from his local political party. Feeling defeated and mentally tortured by Jaykant to no limits, a worried Singham first contemplates returning home but is stopped by Kavya, who encourages him to fight against the evil and not run away like a coward. At that point, some of Jaykant's henchmen attack him, and he, realizing the futility of returning to Shivgad, brutally beats the goons black and blue, locking them up. Singham then arrests Shiva in a fake case of illegally smuggling alcohol after setting him up to tear the fur against the goons, who he had come to free, and recalling to the officers that Shiva, under Jaykant's orders, had planted bundles of cash in Kadam's jeep. Later, he thwarts off Patkar in full view of the public when Patkar, bounded by his duties to Jaykant, tries to bail Shiva out. Jaykant kidnaps Kavya's younger sister Anjali for ransom on Kavya's birthday, rescuing her. Singham successfully traces the origins of the kidnapping racket to Jaykant, confronting Narvekar with his team in anger, but is unable to arrest him as he wins the election and is set to become a minister of the Goa government. Jaykant's party wins the elections. He hands over transfer orders to Singham to go back to Shivgad within 24 hours. That night, at a police function organized for the officers with their families, Singham confronts the officers, particularly Pawar and Patkar, for not abiding by their duties and being dishonest and unfaithful to their profession by protecting Jaykant. At first, Patkar berates Singham, but filled with guilt, Fadnis, Abbas and Savalkar decide to help Singham fight Jaykant. Soon, he is joined by the entire Goa police force, with Pawar also extending support, and all of them invade Jaykant's home to kill him, with Patkar revealing himself to be in support of Singham. In a twist, Jaykant eventually escapes, but after running through the city, he is arrested by the police the next morning. They bring him to the police station and shoot him dead on Kadam's chair, threatening Shiva moments after the showdown to change his statement. At a media conference, while proving Jaykant and Narvekar guilty, Pawar and Singham clear the late Kadam of all corruption charges. Uddharan Chennai. The film ends with Singham and the other police officers saluting Megha. Uddharan.